So thank you everyone for bearing with the location change, and thank you for being here. My name is Marissa. I work here at the University Resource Center. The positive is that we get to stay since I've been here before. So I'd order beforehand, but does anyone want to go first? You got it?
I can start since I'm here on the end. My name's Ellen Owens, and was teaching all the boys football, and the girls were told to sit on the side and watch. And when we protested, which the girls at my school did, we were told that at the other schools, the girls were self-organizing into cheerleading squads for the boys' football venture, and we could do that if we wanted. And we objected and sat on the sidelines and did not cheerlead. And neither parents nor teachers really cared about our complaints, so we quietly sat by the side. There were sports, high school sports at my high school, but they were they were the standard sports of the time, and they were not of interest to me, nor did they speak to my strength. So I didn't participate in sports until I got to college, where there were both sport clubs, rugby that I participated in, and ice hockey was one of the varsity teams, although it was still many years before it would be an NCAA sport. But the college I went to had recently become co-ed, and they needed some varsity sports for women, so they picked sports that the prep schools in New England played, essentially. So we had ice hockey, and I was a walk-on for a year. And it was loads of fun, but my skating skills didn't really keep up. But rugby I took to, and I played in college, and then here at graduate school at Cal, and was on the sport club team in the 80s. And then that died out, having to do with the status of the sport within the country, which was there was one women's league for college, post-college, graduate school, to the most experienced you could be, it was one league, and it stopped being a student team when all the students graduated and still wanted to play. So it went off campus, and when the team started again in the late 90s, I was the assistant coach and became the head coach recently. And I've been very involved in the sport of rugby and the national governing body the last few years. So most of my experience has been on the sport club, athlete-led side of sports. So that's my story.
Okay. I'm Shelley Onstead. I was a student athlete here. I came on campus in 1980 after coming to my senses and transferring from Davis. And I had the honor of being one of Dr. Lululee's charges when she was the first athletic director here for the women's athletics. And I think I benefited from the fact that was right when it was all coming into play. She's got some great stories about sharing uniforms and things like that. And somehow, many years later, became the head coach here after just assisting for 12 years because I liked helping out, not because I aspired to be a head coach. But that opportunity came along and I couldn't turn it down. And now I feel like benefiting from all the good things of Title IX. And I also was fortunate enough to just come back with our national team from the Olympic Games. And I would just the idea of the number of women athletes in the Olympics compared to the 60s and 70s, I'm sure that the numbers are staggering. So just to be able to sort of be part of that was pretty amazing too. So it's kind of right. All yours.
All right. My name's Nicole Jarbo. I was on the women's soccer team starting in 2004, and I just ended. My story's not as interesting as these ladies up here, sadly to say. But I guess I'm a product of the stuff that they got to actually see firsthand. And I played here. We had uniforms, and they're nice uniforms. And I don't know. I never had to think about my sporting experience as a woman growing up. And it's really something to hear that they have, had to do that. So.